to battery?
Nope, I got
So we can get 2 per battery?
2 per battery.
Okay.
That's what it was. Okay. What poor people have to do to survive without health insurance and dental insurance? Oh, that was some. Let's give some examples. Let's just go
Okay,
right
so-
to the examples.
One example of something that I have learned how to do because of the lack of access to healthcare is I became a certified homeopathic and I learned homeopathic medicine. And I also learned herbology, so I also learned how to be an herbal doctor. So those things I learned because of lack of access to healthcare.
Yeah. I didn't do it because of lack of health care, but it definitely has helped, and I definitely use it. I definitely did use it when I didn't have health insurance. Is I do vitamins and mineral nutrition type stuff. I got a book that talks about like most common disorders and, you know, ways naturally you can do it, and with supplements, you know, that. Also, another one of my examples is like if my cat goes in and has like an abscess, we get amoxicillin. I'll just give the cat enough just to where it's healing, and then I'd put the amoxicillin in the freezer and take it out whenever I had like, I don't know, urinary tract infection was the most common thing, but every once in a while my tonsils would get inflamed and I couldn't swallow, so I'd have to use the cat amoxicillin.
A lot of people use animal medications, and I think that's why a lot of the animal medications have been switched over. They have to.
That's probably him. Go ahead. Keep talking.
They have to have a prescription now
Hello.
for a lot of the.
It's gone off. We're in the television.
She's on the phone. But yeah, for a lot of the pet medications, now you have to have a prescription. So.
Okay. Okay, bye. Okay, so Laura Lynn must have run out of ideas. But actually...
But I just learned why you said, oh my gosh, it's so hard to do this by yourself. Because when you walk away, it's like I answered the question.
Blah, blah, blah,
and then
blah.
I'm like,
now what?
yeah, now what?
And it's so boring. It must be so boring to listen to the ones where I was just sort of talking. There's no input from any. You get no change of vocal.
But we often have the opposite views of the same subject, because you'll have one view and I'll have another. Sometimes we're able to meet in the middle, but sometimes we can just say, you know, I love you to pieces, but I'm going to think what I want to think.
Right. We agree to disagree on this one. But anyways, another thing, what was it? Just came. Oh, like I've gotten antibiotics from other people.
Yes.
And I have antibiotics stored up from a source, and not a legal source. It's not illegal.
It's
not illegal.
Not illegal. Yep. You did not buy them on the black market.
Right.
I wonder.
And I have them stored up in case somebody needs them, because I have health insurance now. I have really good health insurance now, so I don't have that problem. But for people who don't have health insurance,
Like right now, I currently do not.
yeah. So if somebody had a urinary tract, and for women, a urinary tract infection means once you start bleeding, it means certain death. That's how my partner's father died.
Wow.
It was just, constant urinary tract infections.
Wow. See, that's horrible.
But we're more prone to it, and us not having the bidets
Right.
as a standard here in the United States. Why not? I don't know. But yeah, we're prone to urinary tract infections, which can kill us. And it's a slow, painful death.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That is awful.
Well, he was on a catheter and them things, they just constantly get
Yeah.
infections.
And urinary tract infections in elderly messes with their mind.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It messes them up bad.
See, I didn't even know that until my partner's mother's in assisted living, and she seemed a little confused, more confused. She's got dementia. A little more confused at night, and so I mentioned to the nurse, I said, she seems a little bit more confused tonight. I'm worried about her, is it okay if she wants? And they're like, yeah, everything's all locked up. She can want it. We just redirect her if she becomes problematic. And she says, but if she does seem a little more confused tonight, we'll take a urine test, because sometimes urinary tract infections can cause them more, mental instability.
Okay.
And it's the first I ever knew about it.
Yep.
So our question is, well, this might be an early one, or we can move on to another subject. What do you do, audience? What have you done?
Or heard of others doing.
Or heard of others doing? Your friend could have done it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, your friend.
That's why I added that, because,
maybe what you did was illegal. Can't fault you for it, though. You don't have health insurance, you gotta live. What have you done to either maybe you did have health that you just couldn't afford the medication or the office visit?
Yeah, because some of the Obamacare, because I looked into Obamacare when it first came out, and for just hospitalization, catastrophic, it was going to cost me $600 a month with a $10,000 deductible. Mm-hmm. That did not cover dentist vision. That did not cover doctor's visits. That did not cover emergency room. That only covered catastrophic injury. If I got nearly dead and had to go into the hospital and stay in the hospital for something, gunshot wound or something like that, some major illness that put me in critical care, they would cover that. They'd cover 40%.
See, Now
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not insurance. That's robbery.
That's just like what you get anyways if you didn't have health insurance.
Yeah, because you can always call them and they'll cut your bill. They'll take 40% off your bill.
Or you could just not pay it and have it go to a collection agency and then just make a deal with them and they'll take pennies on the dollar because that's what they bought it for, pennies on the dollar. That's what I did with my urinary tract infection when I got it and find out this easy boss never got insurance for me.
Great. But yeah, see, the catastrophic, if you end up with something like that and you stay in the hospital, you're better off having the social worker at the hospital apply for emergency Medicaid for you, and that will cover your bill.
And there's also, what do you call it? If you're in an accident and you don't have health insurance or you can't cover whatever.
Your car insurance is supposed to cover that for you in Michigan.
Well, I'm talking about non-car related incident.
Okay.
Like if you're
fall off your roof?
Yeah, something like that. It's what do you call it? They have a fund that each hospital has a fund for victims. I think they might even call it the Victims Fund.
Okay.
That you can apply and you might get accepted.
Okay.
So that's another resource that you could look into. Not, of course, not everybody's accepted.
Right.
But especially if you have a small bill, relatively speaking, you might be able to get in, them. As a matter of fact, did I tell you the other day, a couple weeks ago, I got a letter from some organization saying that they paid off that bill for the UTI.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And there's organizations that like that. But it was such a small bill, so I'm sure it wasn't a hard decision. It was like, oh, urinary tract infection, blood in the urine. Oh, okay, let's cover this one because she would have died if she didn't. And it's a small bill.
Right.
It's
Small
no-brainer.
compared to.
Relatively speaking, it's a small bill.
I mean, when you...
It was still like $900.
Yeah. When you get a bill and it's $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and you're having a hard time putting food on the table.
Yeah,
you can't pay that. But oftentimes, if you do need to make arrangements, payment arrangements with the hospital, you can negotiate with them to bring the balance down some, and you can make monthly payments. But again, if your monthly payment is $30 and you are not buying groceries that month, what are you going to spend your $30 on?
Yeah.
Or if your tank is empty and you only have the $30 that's supposed to go to the hospital, but you have to go to work, where's that $30 going? In your gas tank so you can go to work.
Yeah. I mean, some people are so poor, these payment plans are just not even doable either.
Right.
You know,
if you don't do something, then they garnish in your wages.
See, they never garnished my wages. They never threatened to garnish my wages.
That's good.
But it might have been because it was like an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but they never threatened to garnish my wages, and they never did.
Well, that's good.
So I don't know how that works. Of course, I never filed for. Maybe because it was such a small bill. You know, maybe they thought it's not worth it because we have to go through all the legal stuff and pay that. We'd end up paying more in legal fees than we'd end up getting back. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's not that much, but I'll tell you what, you have to go to court. There's going to be a lot of money get involved in that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's not that much, but, I mean, you remember those days when that was a lot of money.
Oh, that's a lot of money to me now.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money to me now. I still wouldn't be able to pay it. But, okay, so, did we go through that topic? What did we... Okay, are we done with that topic, or?
I believe so. Do you have another topic?
Okay. So vendor shows, make it clear what can and can't be sold. Okay, this one I'm going to say, okay, this one I wanted to tell you because, okay, I do Quaker made voodoo dolls and catnip toys. I make self-explanatory. I make voodoo dolls, I make cat toys. So I go to the show every year. This will be the 4th year or 5th year maybe. And
What show?
It's the Hillsdale Lions Club.
Where's that at?
Show. Hillsdale, Michigan. This year they're having it the same place. Finally, this is the one I complained about, where every year they had this different week and it had different place, different time, and so they couldn't be consistent enough to get a following.
So if somebody wanted to buy your stuff, they never knew where you're going to be from year to year.
You're right.
Well, that's dumb.
Dumb. This one is going to be on Beck Road at I think it's the Church of God.
Okay.
It's actually it's called.
That's right before Walmart.
Yeah, actually I think it's technically called Jonesville Church of God, but
Okay.
it's the Hillsdale address. Well, anyway, so every year I've been going since the very first year. Don't ask me how I heard about it.
How many years has that been?
That's 4 or 5. This is the 4th or 5th year.
Okay.
And every year I've gone, and the only reason I'm still going is because they have a raffle, and I always win a bunch of stuff at the raffle because nobody shows up. The vendors don't pay to get raffle tickets. So I it's one of them things where you just put.
What day is it?
November.
Is it a Saturday?
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Okay.
It's like November 3rd, the first Saturday in November.
Okay.
And so, whatever the first Saturday in November 2025 is, that's what it's going to be.
Do I ask a lot of questions?
Well, if people want to go, that's good to know. You're asking the right questions in case somebody listening wants to go. That'll draw a crowd. Nobody comes to the show. We rarely ever have hardly any customers. We have hardly any customers. None of the vendors buy any raffle tickets.
So you take everything home.
So I take about 50% or at least a third of what Because I'll just look in there and I'll see it, because it's like a little cup right in front. You can see who's, I'll put it in there, you know. One or two little thingies, I'll put one in. I'll put, like, if I really want it, I'll put three, because 3 entries in there, because then that means I'm almost positively going to get it.
Wow.
Because there's only 1 or 2 other enters. And, so that's how I win everything. And then I just resell it or give it away as giveaways, gifts, whatever. And so anyway, just the thought of winning something is really nice. So, and my partner's the same way. He says, I don't mind setting you up because we win all this stuff.
Right.
And so anyway, so they know what I sell. They know what I do. I'm familiar to this lady. Every year she contacts me. Well, last year, we're in the same place this year. First year was a church. Second year, I think this is year number 4. It might be number 5. I might be misremembering one place. First year was a church. Second year was a senior center. Third place was this Beck Road church. This year will be the Beck Road church. Now, again, I might have missed one in there.
Okay.
But anyways, so when I contacted her this year, I'm like, have you sent out, I didn't see any email with you sending out the vendor form. And she says, yeah, I've been late, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, whatever, get everything together. And I said, very interested, love the shows. This is on Facebook messaging. And so then she says, well, can you not sell the voodoos this year? Last year we had complaints.
Oh, but they're not real they're toys.
Well, Julie, okay. Look behind the curtain here. The wizard is just a short little white dude with a really funky beard. But Julie does not believe in any type of religious, spiritual, or any of this crap. Any of this voodoo, any of this spiritual crap, voodoo, woo-woo stuff. Julie does not believe any of that crap works. But she can pretend it works. If somebody will pay $5 to $10 for my doll.
Right.
Okay. So voodoo, Julie thinks voodoo does not exist. So I'm selling these dolls. She knows it. There's nothing ever in the rules about what can and can't be sold.
Right.
I don't think there's anything in there that ever said anything political can't be sold, even though that's not what I sell. So anyways, I was angry because I'm sitting here thinking, now you're you're moving the goalpost here. You're changing the rules of the game.
And that you've been okay with that, they've been okay with you for 4 years.
Right. They had some complaints. Now, who complained? Other vendors? Because they did have some head covers, but it's a Church of God. I think they cover there, so it might have been some people from the church. That maybe they complain, but usually them people don't. Because I used to belong to head covering church. They didn't complain about stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe the church. I don't know.
Maybe. Crap. All your stuff says voodoo dolls. Maybe for that show, just change them to scrappy dolls.
I'm not going to. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'll quit going to the show.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. This is my business. And if she thought it was going to be a problem, she should have let me know year 1.
So she didn't send you a sign-up sheet. You had to contact her.
Well, see, and that I thought, well, maybe that's why.
That's why she was just going to wait and hopefully, and she was hoping not to have this conversation with you, and she was hoping you would forget and not ask for a sign-up sheet.
That's what I thought, so I asked her. I says, again, this is on Messenger. I says, is that why you didn't contact me? She says, no, I'm being serious when I say.
Okay.
I just haven't, I'm running late this year. And this thing is always so disorganized. We had a podcast about this. This is the one where somebody she made a Facebook group, and somebody got on the group posing as one of the managers, supervisors, was trying to talk people out of money.
Oh,
wow. That's the one.
Okay.
So it always is very disorganized.
Wow.
And so, yeah, this is the same one we talked about in the other podcast. So, she did, and another thing that makes me, is because I said, do you have any open slots? Because I can put it on my Facebook page. And I was going to put it on Craigslist and stuff. To fill vendor spots.
And you're good at that.
Yeah, more vendor spots filled, more people will come to us.
Yeah.
And I just need that list so I can get it out there. But anyway, so she says, yes, we do have open spots. And usually by this time the spots would have been full.
Okay. Now, have you ever thought about running your own show?
Yes, it's just very much too much organization, too much
Okay.
getting everything together. It's just too much for me to handle. Because I'd be as bad as this person
Okay.
is. And I think that's very bad.
Okay.
That's terrible to
That's highly honest of you, and that's actually great. Thank you.
Well, see, one of the things that if you're, again, I'm going to say, if you're having a vendor show, especially a small one, specifically a small one or a startup, have a list, write out that list of vendors and post them everywhere, online and in real life. Every bulletin board you can find, every window where they'll let you put it up. Because if you're having a small one, people aren't going to go if they don't know what's there.
Okay, so if you're having voodoo dolls, put that on the list. If you're having candles, put that on the list. If somebody's showing up with honey, put that on the list.
Yeah. Put everything on the list so it'll attract people.
Okay.
And if you have, put everybody on call at first so you'll get a mix. I mean, if you can't fill spots, have more than one vendor. But of the same item.
Okay.
Same type item. Like, try to only, if you're having a small show where you're only having 30 spots, start out with just one crochet and put every subsequent crocheter on a waiting list.
Mm-hmm.
And let them know, we already have one crocheter, but if we have open spots to fill, I can call you and, you can be it. But just don't, because if you have like 5 crocheters,
people aren't going to show up for that.
yeah, because you got crochet where you could have had other type
Yep.
sales. And also do this with the MLM, also known as
Tupperware.
Yeah, type people, paparazzi, 31, all them. Have them be on the waiting list. Only put them in the spots if you can't find any home crafter to fill them spots, because that's just mass-produced crap, that anybody could get anywhere.
Now, talking about all this kind of vendor stuff and things like that, somebody had told me, I'm going to ask you about a rumor. Somebody told me a rumor that the Hudson Farmers Market was looking for people to take that over. They wanted to set up a member of boards, board members to run it, because they can't run it at this time of year, and they wanted to run it through October.
Which
the one out on 127?
Oh, I don't know anything about that one.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so that was the answer.
I could see that one being very successful. Sadly, that one will be successful, but this in-town one, which I prefer, was not successful.
Right. But the one out on 127 is not in operation right now because the farmers that were running it are taking their crops in.
Okay. See, I can
So it's shut down right now.
Yeah, see, I can understand.
That's why they wanted to set up a board to run it while they're out harvesting their corn.
Yeah, I can see them wanting to do that. I can see
The
that being true. I can see that
the
being true.
spots were free to set up.
Yeah. See, now the thing about it is I had a lot of stuff to do this year, but also, I'm sorry, I don't want to sit out there.
Right.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to sit out there. I didn't mind sitting out here, you know, at the library, because I could run in the library, talk to them, go to the bathroom. You know, I knew all of them. There, you know, I think they had a porta potty.
They had a porta potty and they had a food truck, and they also had all the dust from the 127. No matter what direction the wind was blowing, you got cow shit on the air because there was cows on both sides of you.
Oh.
So no matter what day it was, wherever the wind was coming, it smelled like cow shit. You went home, you smelled like cow shit. Your stuff smelled like cow shit. It was disgusting. And then most days it rained. So
that was another thing. Yeah, it rained.
Or it was too hot. My mom set up once, and she set up for the 3 hours, and she brought home $60. So there was a crowd. She did sell stuff. And she sold stuff for $3 a piece or 2 for $5.
Yeah.
So at $3 a piece or 2 for $5, she brought home $60 in 3 hours.
Yeah.
At $5 a pop. So I mean, she had customers. There were customers.
Right.
But she's like, I just feel like I have shit on me because I got in my car. I smelled like shit. My car smelled like shit for 3 days afterwards. She goes, I know I didn't step in any, but it was just on the air and it blew on me because it was airborne. And she says, that's just nasty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't even know, because I only went out there one time and I bought some plant when one of the first few times they were there, and I bought some plants, perennials from a plant seller. But you know, another thing is, like, the library has them shade trees.
Yeah.
And that's really nice, whereas that one on 127 has no shade.
Nope, you're on concrete, right out in the sun.
And I don't want to set up my dog on for just a few hours for one day, you know. So I just, and it's out of town. I don't see people I know. Like here in town, Richie might walk by, or, you know, Summer might walk by, or, you know, talk to people, or people, you know, drive by and they'll stop and oh, there's Julie, let's stop and talk. And, or let me tell her there's suet at the groomers for her to come get after she's done here. Or, you know what I'm saying? There was like a lot to, whereas it's like, there's no sidewalk. People aren't walking by. They're not going to have a conversation with you. You're not going to see people you know, walking by.
Yep. So have you ever thought about doing another one at the library, on the library lawn?
Well, the library transferred it over to 127. There was a transfer
so you can just do, instead of a farmer's market, you could do a vendor show, call it a craft show.
Again, it's just so much work.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, if I didn't have all this going on, I think I might give it more serious thought, but I just got this going
I just thought maybe if the library wanted to do that, the library could do it, and you could show up from time to time if you wanted to.
They probably would be okay with, you know, me just showing up every Wednesday and just sitting out there. They probably wouldn't care. It's just like, you know, I think the Facebook page itself was the draw. It was one of the things that they managed, and they
gave that away.
Gave that to them to admin, because that people do post on there, ask questions on there. They can post on there, and they were pretty good with it. The library wasn't so, but they have so much else to do.
The library has so much else to do, and so does the farmers. The farmers have so much else to do right now. And they're not even doing it right now because they're harvesting.
Yeah.
And this is the time of year where the farmers market would go good, because this is when crops are coming in.
Crops are coming in, yep.
So.
Okay. Well, are we done with that one?
Yep.
We're done. Bye-bye.